Project Power is a brand new Netflix original movie starring Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Dominique Fishback, and is basically about this drug or pill that goes around New Orleans that gives you a specific superpower for about 5 minutes. But the only catch is you don't know what superpower you will get. So you might take it one time and be able to produce fire out of nowhere or become invisible, and you might take it another time and simply explode. So it's a completely random pick of whatever superpower you get, and that is pretty much the basic concept of this film. Now, I'm going to be honest, when I first heard this movie was a thing, I was genuinely slightly intrigued. I wasn't, ecstatic to see it, but there was a part of me that was like, okay, this could be a pretty good action movie with a really unique premise. And I've got to say, after watching this movie, I was very disappointed because considering what the marketing campaigns for this movie have been building up with that whole, such unique concept of you take a pill and you could get any random superpower. The fact that it builds that up so much in the trailers, the posters, all the marketing, and that it's not even that well utilised in the movie is probably one of the biggest disappointing things I can say about this film. It has a unique concept that hasn't really been done in a movie before, but this whole movie just screams wasted potential throughout its entire runtime. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some good aspects to this movie. The three main actors all work really well on their own and with each other. You've got Jamie Foxx doing as good of a job as he can do in a movie like this, and he's always very charismatic to see in any movie. And in this movie, he does what he usually does best, and he is good at doing that. You've got Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who seems to be on a massive comeback this year with 7500 and this movie. And, out of the two movies he's been in so far this year, definitely watch 7500. It's the better movie without a doubt. But in this movie, he is very good, and like I said, he works very well with the other two main actors in this movie. And yet there is also a few scenes where he gets to shine on his own. Specifically one scene involving a shower, which I thought was very well done and was quite funny, and he really nails it in that scene. And yeah, he's really good as well. Also, Dominique Fishback, who is a brand new talent who has only just come in with this movie. I feel like she is really good in this film, and I can't wait to see more from her, because what she brings to this movie is very good. And again, the connection that she has with Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character is nice to see play out throughout the movie. And like I said, she's a very interesting acting talent, and I can't wait to see her in more stuff. The movie is also decently shot. It's nothing spectacular, but there are a few scenes in particular that are executed with a bit of creativity and a little bit of flair, and it was nice to see those moments come out of this movie. It was the kind of moments where I was like, yes, that's what I want to see more of, but unfortunately it didn't do those moments as often as I wanted it to. For example, there's one scene in particular, I won't say too much detail for spoiler reasons, but all I will say is that it involves this woman freezing in this massive tank, and there's stuff going on outside of the tank, and the way that scene is shot is kind of what I was expecting from the whole movie. It's very visually interesting, it keeps you engaged. It might be a bit messy in execution, but the idea is solid, and I liked what they did with that specific scene. And when that scene was happening, I was like, yes, this is what I wanted from a movie like this. But like I've said a few times already, this movie does feel like wasted potential. You have a really simple and cool and unique premise that hasn't been done before, but unfortunately doesn't really make the most of said premise. It's kind of nice that they don't keep shoving, superpower scenes down your throat every 5 minutes, because I feel like if the movie kept showing you people taking this pill and getting superpowers in every single scene, it would make the concept get boring quite quick. But that being said, I would have liked to have seen a bit more. Like, the scenes we do get are pretty decent, but I feel like you have potential to be as creative and as wild as you can be with that kind of concept. But I feel like whatever they do with the concept in this movie is the safest options they could have gone for. Like, there are some scenes that are exceptions to that, like the scene I just mentioned with the freezing woman. That is very creative, and the way it's shot is very different to pretty much the rest of the movie. And there is a scene very early on involving a guy who ends up, bursting into flames. Those two scenes are very cool, but I just feel like throughout the rest of the movie, I just feel like they could have done a bit more with the powers. They could have shown you a wide variety of powers, and again, that's probably down due to budgetary constraints, but I just wanted to see a little bit more. However, the biggest issue for this film is actually its script. Because, again, you have a cool, unique premise that you can pretty much attach to any story to get the most out of that concept. But unfortunately, you have a cool concept stuck to a very generic and by-the-numbers plot that you can pretty much see every, step it's going to take as it happens. And that's probably one of the biggest disappointing things of this movie, one of the biggest drawbacks anyway. The fact that the plot of the film is as standard as you will probably get for an action movie like this. And again, considering how much potential that initial concept has, the fact that it is in a movie that is as generic as this does feel very disappointing. I don't have much else to say about Project Power. The three main actors are really good in this movie, and there are some scenes in particular that are very well executed and are better than I was expecting. But unfortunately, the movie as a whole just really didn't deliver what I was wanting from this movie, which is why I'm probably going to give it something like a 5.5 out of 10. There's a lot of potential in this film, but unfortunately that potential is just wasted on such a simple and straightforward plot. So guys, that was my review of Project Power. I hope you liked it. If you liked the video, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye.